My name's Katie Cooper and I have the pleasure of being head girl here at Sackville. As you're probably well aware, today's open day is completely different to all previous open evening events, but hopefully it is just as enjoyable, informative, and gives you a flavour of what we're all about here at Sackville. Over my past 6 years here, I've seen how strong the school community is. Like all students normally are, I was very nervous coming into secondary school. But coming into Sackville, I made great friends and all the staff were and continue to be so supportive and friendly, from year 7 all the way to year 13. Now I'll hand over to our wonderful head teacher, Mr. Grant.
But what I'm going to do is try and give you a flavour of what Sackville's all about, because I know it's a difficult decision when you're looking at secondary schools and making choices. So what do we stand for? Well, firstly, I do think that you are joining something special if you come to this school. Now, I guess I'm bound to say that. I'm head teacher and I am biased. I love this school. I'm the first to say it. I think it's a wonderful place. Well, why do I think that? Well, firstly, it is a very popular school. I'm delighted to say that there's a lot of popularity out there in the community. The school is heavily oversubscribed, which is obviously great because as a school, you earn the loyalty and faith and support of your community. That's very important. We're here to serve. We're here to serve local families. Secondly, the exam results, which I'll come to a little bit later, but they are outstanding and they are indeed award-winning and have been for some time. So it's not a question of, well, particularly good in one year and not another. We're talking about consistently good performance here. Also, the behaviour here is very, very good. Indeed, it is excellent. Our students are wonderful young people, and there's a high quality of care for them, with, of course, great support from the parents. Leadership in education. Well, Sackville is a leading edge school, a national leading edge school. That means that basically we are recognised for the quality of what we do, the quality of our delivery in the classroom, for example, the quality of the teaching and the learning. And therefore we do indeed work with other schools on that and are delighted to do so. Great students, great staff and great parents. Everything is about community. Really strong schools are about all those stakeholders working together and working together well. Obviously, the motto of Sackville, as you may know, is together we achieve. It's all about that togetherness. That's what makes Sackville what it is. And of course, on top of all that, it's not just me saying it, but we have very strong Ofsted reports. Our last Ofsted was at the beginning of 2019. That was only a one-day short Ofsted where you just get a letter. So it's not a report with the different gradings on it, but it's a letter confirming, if you like, where the school is. And it's very strong, which is excellent. Now, of course, we live in interesting and challenging times at the moment. And any really good school is going to respond to those times and make sure that the provision for the students and indeed their parents is as good as it can possibly be in those circumstances. So, for example, in our case, if you look at the top left-hand corner there, I was immensely proud and grateful to the staff who embraced technology very, very quickly here. And you see in June 2020, and that wasn't the whole of June, that was about the first 3 weeks of June, there were 1,524 live lessons taught over the internet to students. That is about going the extra mile. The staff were on it. They were on it quickly because they wanted to make sure the students had the best education possible in those circumstances. And of course, we were very keen to bring students back into school as soon as we could and as soon as we were permitted to do so safely. And so towards the end of the summer term, we had students coming in, as you can see in the layout here. And along the bottom, you can actually see students in this hall separated out in small wellbeing assembly groups. Because what we did in July is we got every single child back into school before the summer holidays, every child in a small group, to reassure them, to bring them back across the threshold, say, it's okay, we're still here, the building's still standing, you're going to be raring to go in September. And what a difference that did make when September came around, because they'd already been here. Again, it's about being creative, it's about being dedicated to those young people. Of course, parents, many of you are here now, play a massively important role in education, and during the lockdown time, probably even more important than ever. So we made sure we kept in touch with our parents' focus group, which is very active at Sackville. It's like a sort of think tank, if you like, where we think together and share ideas about the way the school's going. And those focus group meetings were held over Zoom every couple of weeks. We had over 40 parents attending those, and that was ever so helpful, because we could listen to the parents' anxieties. They could hear our thinking and then how we were planning to sort of move the school forward in the circumstances. So that's important, and that's a vital ingredient, I think, of the way this school works. And obviously we've got some lovely feedback too about the way we brought the students back in. So, I mentioned Ofsted before. Well, I'll just dwell on that briefly now, because obviously when Ofsted came in, they're nothing to do with this school. That they are completely independent. Like I said, I'm biased. I'm massively enthusiastic about the school. But let's hear what they had to say. Well, they said a lot of very, very nice things. Firstly, strong progress across all subjects. There aren't many school Ofsted reports you will read that say strong progress across all subjects. Didn't even name them because it was the whole lot. I was delighted with that. A tangible sense of purpose and commitment to every student. Great education is about knowing all of the individuals in your educational community and supporting them in the right way. And I was delighted they picked that up. The teachers go above and beyond. I guess I've already touched on that, and they certainly do here. The staff here work very, very hard. They want to be here. They want to be with the young people. And the leaders, well, thankfully, they said the leaders are approachable and responsive, so that was nice to read. There's an ethos that allows every child to be valued. Absolutely. It's about knowing your individual, but it's about valuing your individual. We're all different. Every single one of us is different. No matter who we are, no matter what our age is, no matter what our role is in a school community, we're all different, and we all need support and encouragement in different ways. And we all want to be valued, quite right too. And then as far as the students are concerned, well, this is what Ofsted said: they are well-mannered, they're good-humoured, they're welcoming, and they're proud of their school, and they most certainly are. In normal circumstances, on an open evening or an open event, you would have a lot of students here, very enthusiastically showing you around the school, because they desperately want to do that. Of course, sadly this year, we have to do it very differently. What we have got is our wonderful sixth formers, who will be doing exactly that, but you won't see as many today as you would normally. But they are our greatest ambassadors, without a doubt. And then going back to parents, well, when a school has an Ofsted inspection, parents give their feedback to Ofsted about a school. And there are several questions about a school. And as you can see at a glance here, the results from the parents were very, very impressive, really, and very comforting. We were delighted. I mean, none of the responses were less than 95%, which is incredibly high. And the sorts of things they were asking about: is your child happy? Do they feel safe? Do they make good progress? They're well looked after? Are they taught well? Is the school well led and managed? Etc. Does the school deal effectively with any bullying? Does the school respond well to concerns I raise? Etc. But right across the board, as you can see, the results were very, very high. And that certainly stood out and stands out to this day. Just come back to results, which I'll dwell on briefly. I think the crucial thing here is that, of course, results matter. Results aren't everything. It's about developing a young person, isn't it, to be a fine citizen of the future. But part of that, clearly, is getting the strongest qualifications they can possibly get. And that indeed happens here. You'll be aware, of course, this summer with examination results, GCSE and A-level, there were a lot of issues nationally about results that are well rehearsed, and it's not for me to talk all about that now. What I want to dwell on is the consistency at this school, the consistency of high results achieved at Sackville. Yes, our results were spectacular in 2020, but actually, so they were in 2019, so they were in 2018. That's what you'd want to know. And that's what I'm delighted to share with you. And indeed, we have received 5 national awards for our GCSE results since 2015. So it's been a delight to collect those. We're not collecting it for ourselves, we're collecting it on behalf of the students and the staff who've worked so well. So that's wonderful. Consistently, we're in the top 20%, if not higher, of schools in the country for progress at GCSE, year on year. Not flash in the pan, year on year. So if we actually look at what that means, what is the Sackville difference, I suppose, is what I'm saying. Well, when a student comes in from primary school, the government set targets for a child, okay? Ambitious targets for a child that they think a child should then achieve by the time they get to GCSE, and then indeed by the time they get to A-level. So let's say, for example, in a good school, a child joins a good school, and let's say that they would be projected by the government to get all 6s at GCSE. Well, at Sackville, with our track record, they will get more than that. They'll actually get, half them will be a grade higher, certainly, because that's what we're seeing year on year at Sackville. They are exceeding really tough expectations as well. High expectations, they're beating them. And if then you apply that to the 7-year journey, because the beauty of the school here is you have a 7-year journey right through from 11 to 18, which I think is a wonderful offer in education. So let's look at it like that. And here we go. Hopefully this will all work. But here you have a child, let's say, in a good school that gets all 7s at GCSE. Well, that same child will get at Sackville, basically will get half the grades higher. And then at A-level, the child might get 3 Bs in a good school, but at Sackville, they would get 2 As and a B. That is the Sackville difference consistently. So, what does that mean? Well, if we look at A-level first, which is our 18-year-olds, we do offer a seamless journey from 11 to 18, like I say, on one site here. I think that's really good. The staff know the students well. They take them right through. Consistently, we get at least half of our grades at A-level at B or above. And A-level pass grades go from A-star to E. So A-star B is right up the top there. And certainly we're getting half above that, no matter what, happened this summer and everything else. That's what happens at Sackville year on year. Over 20 students gaining an A-star or A in maths alone, year on year. Also, and this is what's so important, is looking at the destinations for the students. Where do they want to go to next? What do they want to do in their lives? That's so important that we give them that support and planning. And, for example, many students last year got highly regarded apprenticeships and great employment opportunities locally because we work with local organisations very carefully. So, for example, the Queen Victoria Hospital and the police. But in addition to that, university success is outstanding here. So in terms of students getting into top universities, we work really hard with them on that. And there is so much investment that goes on in our sixth form team working with students, preparing university applications, etc., etc. They've got into great places, first time, with these results, because they were prepared. So universities, medical schools, veterinary colleges, we've got 2 students this year went off to Oxford University, 2 students went off to Cambridge University. If you look at the list here, Imperial, King's, University College, Durham, Leeds, Edinburgh, Warwick, Bristol, Manchester Medical School, Birmingham, Newcastle, Exeter, Liverpool, Sheffield, Loughborough, Stanford in the USA, and many more. And that's what the school is offering. That's the ambition. And I'm really proud of those students. And I'm so grateful to the staff and the parents who I know came together and worked with them every step in the way to get those wonderful, wonderful destinations. So that's absolutely great. So what do we see overall then in the Sackville community? Well, you see high morale amongst the staff. I'm very, very lucky as head teacher of this school. It's a wonderful team of staff. It's a cheerful team of staff who want to fight for every child. Great relationships with students. Consistently strong classroom delivery, quality of teaching. Boundless enthusiasm. Excellent understanding of need. Good feedback and marking. Good subject expertise as well, really strong. Students enjoying learning, that's what Ofsted picked up on. Exemplary behaviour from our students. A supportive family atmosphere, that Sackville spirit that people talk about. It's definitely there. And working working well in pairs and groups to study hard. Ofsted picked up on that with students. And the curriculum. The curriculum, it offers students the chance to succeed. Curriculum doesn't just mean the lessons that the students do or the subjects they do. I mean, that's a big part of the curriculum, isn't it? To offer a good variety of subjects you can take. But it's much more than that. Curriculum is about the whole school experience. What you do beyond the classroom. That's what makes a curriculum exciting. And so I've given you a flavour of it, and it's a very small flavour of it really, on this screen. Here is the huge range of opportunities, or a selection of the huge range of opportunities at Sackville. Obviously at the moment, this term, this is proving a bit difficult, but nevertheless, in normal times this is what we do. So if I just give you an example, here in the middle a big photo, some of you will recognise it, that was our school show Joseph this year, that we performed in February, just in time. An amazing event. Why do I particularly focus on that? Because the school show brings in so many different students of the school that come in and contribute to that show in loads of different ways. It's a wonderful community event. It's well known throughout the town, and every year that occurs, and it's special. I think respect is so important for children that are growing up in a community. Respect for their surroundings, respect for their town. So down the bottom here in the corner, like the Remembrance Event in East Grinstead every November, we will go there as a school and lay a wreath in respect. We do a traditional Christmas carol service at St Swithin's as well. Over on the bottom left-hand corner, the centenary, of the armistice in November 2018. We made a massive human poppy on the playground with the number 100 next to it. It's important, isn't it? That respect and understanding sort of where we come from and all the rest of it. It is all there. We do invite people into the school to talk to our students. So, for example, over on the left-hand side, we had the ex-MP for Mid-Sussex, Nicholas Soames, came in and worked with students. That was really good, actually, doing debating work and that sort of thing. Debating is wonderful here, and thank you indeed to Mrs Fleming, who's sitting up there, who does lots of work with students on debating. And there they are in the top middle with the Mayor of East Grinstead. We always take part actively in local debating events and indeed beyond, not just in the locality. Science awards, visits to university, over in the top left-hand corner here. Lots of sport. Lots of sport at Sackville. Now clearly at this very moment, fixtures are curtailed because school fixtures are sort of suspended. But in normal times, we do a tremendous amount of fixtures. We have so many teams and opportunities, which is great. So something for everybody in that, I think, really. Wonderful artwork. Our art exhibition is very well known. We even have our own observatory over on the left-hand side here, which is very special. Have observatory evenings, etc. So that's just a flavour, but that's what I mean by the curriculum. It's not just English, maths, science, history, etc. It's about the whole experience that your child gets at this school. So, enough of me now, really. I'm going to pass on to Mr. Street, but the last thing I'd like to leave you with is what's on the screen there. If you go back a few slides, you'll remember I listed those Ofsted results from parents about what they thought about the school. And I think this was a very, very special one that I've just kept till last, where basically 99% of parents, it was a very large response, by the way, said that they would recommend Sackville to other parents. Now, clearly, I want that to be 100%, but 99 is outstandingly high, and we're delighted with that. We're here to serve, and we will continue to do so. So, yeah, absolutely. Come and see what we've got to offer. There's so many great schools around here, of course there are. This is what we offer. If you come and join us, we'll be absolutely delighted. So thank you very much from me.
Hello, good morning everyone, and thank you Mr Grant. My name's Paul Street. I'm one of the deputy heads here at Sackville, and one of my responsibilities is transition. So I want to talk you through that today on what I like to call the journey to Sackville. And obviously that journey this year was quite different than it had been in previous years. You can see here, this is a tutor group meeting for the very first time. Had to happen over Zoom, but we've got our year leader in there, Mr Endersby, and he's permanent. He'll be your leader when you come in September as well. And then next to him is Mrs. Brown, our transition coordinator, one of our tutors. But it's worth pointing out, this is Louise here. She's one of our sixth formers. Some of you may see her today. She's one of our guides. But we always link older students as buddies to help students actually kind of familiarise themselves with routines in the school. But having said that, that wasn't normal. But this was. And this also happened during lockdown, where we invited students and their parents in, and there they are socially distancing outside, waiting for their meeting, so we could begin to find out a little bit more about them and begin to personalise that transition process. So let's talk about that journey. Well, it starts really in June, but I suppose it starts even before that. It really starts now, because we have really close links with your feeder primary schools. And therefore, we know lots about you before you even arrive. And then we follow that up with these personalised admissions meetings, this opportunity for you to come in, you to meet with a senior member of staff, and we can find out a little bit more about you, your needs, so we can do something quite bespoke. That's then followed by our unique 3-day induction. So you're actually in Sackville School for 3 days prior to starting. And this is really, really important, because as it says up there, it enables you to familiarise yourself with the school's routines, but possibly more important for that, for you to spend time with your tutor, with some of the new staff that are going to be teaching you in September. But possibly even more important than that, it gives you an opportunity to meet your fellow tutees and begin to make those lasting friendships, which, as many of you will know, will last all the way through your school career. The buddies you will meet on this day, they are there to support you. We normally use Year 9 buddies. That's not been the case this year because of social groupings and different things, but we did use the sixth formers in a socially distanced way right at the very beginning. They act as support, they act as role models, they are mentors, they are there to support our students through the transition. And again, those relationships built then last all their way through the school. It's lovely when you see a Year 10 student speaking to a sixth former. Do you remember when I first came in and you did this for me? Some beautiful relationships there. Now, we realise transition is difficult, right? And some students find it more difficult than others. So we run a parallel programme to this programme that we like to call Transition Plus. And Transition Plus is kind of a little bit of extra support for some people who may require it. And that's led by our learning mentor, that's led by our link team. And what we do is we put on additional visits in small groups to ensure people feel safe and secure at our school. And then finally, just before we break up in July, we invite you as parents back in again. This gives you an opportunity then to meet your son or daughter's tutor, and that's going to be the first point of call or communication really with school. And communication is so important for us, and is so important for students' learning. And you will also get an opportunity then to meet Mr. Endersby, who I've already spoken about, who's that static year leader and has real expertise in bringing students into the school, and the year assistant. And the year assistant actually follows, as the tutors do, the students up through the school, so building and cementing those relationships. And the real beauty about the year assistants is they're non-teaching, so they're available throughout the day for you to talk to, should you wish, either in person or over the phone. So hopefully, from what you've seen so far today, it's quite clear that Sackville is a high-performing school with a high-performing culture. But that doesn't just happen by accident, right? That is very much underpinned by our excellent pastoral care, but also we put well-being right at the heart of everything we do. And never is that more important than right now. We've invested a huge amount of resource over the last few years into wellbeing. We have our own wellbeing room that we call the base, and you'll see that on your tour today. We have our own learning mentor, we have someone who's ALSA trained, we also have our own school counsellor, but on top of that, 32 members of staff here are mental health first trained as well. So we've got quite excellent provision when it comes to wellbeing. But I think you've heard enough from me now, so what I would like to do is actually hand you over to Rose. Now Rose is year 7, she's just joined us. She's not actually here today because we didn't think that was possibly appropriate, but she has made a little video. So I'm going to play that to you so you can hear Rose now.
I may have only been at Sackville for 2 weeks, but I already feel I am part of the Sackville school community. The transition from year 6 to year 7 in 2020 has of course been very different. Now I'm sure all of you year 6s here were also greatly affected in your transition from 5 to 6, but hopefully by the time you all go off to your secondary schools, things will be back to normal. The transition process from primary to secondary is an exciting and nerve-wracking time, but it's honestly so much fun here. I think it was June when I came to Sackville to meet a teacher who asked me questions and made me feel at ease. I was also able to write down 3 names I wanted, and 1 I didn't, to be in a form with me. Because we couldn't come into school during lockdown, in July we had a Zoom meeting instead, where we met our form tutor and other children in our class. This was useful because we could ask lots of questions. I was feeling a bit nervous about starting school, especially because I hadn't been to school for such a long time, but I was mostly excited and I couldn't wait to get started. On the first day, we had extra form time so that I could get to know my form tutor and the rest of my form. All of my teachers are really friendly and helpful, and some of my favourite subjects so far are drama, science and PE.
I'd like to now hand over to our head boy.
Hello everyone, my name is Harvey Snashfeld and I have the honour of being in the role of head boy here at Sackville. I've been here since the very first day of year 7 and I'm grateful that I've had the opportunity to attend such an incredible school as this one. Apart from being a fantastic learning environment for students, Sackville truly fulfills the meaning of community with its range of hardworking, talented students and teachers, each supporting and pushing each other in order to be the best that they could possibly be. From your first day of year 7 to your last day in year 13, our range of brilliant staff will be there to support you however they can. I remember my first day as year 7 as being a day that was very nerve-wracking for myself, as it is for many students when they come into a new and very intimidating environment. However, there was no need to be, because all the staff were so supportive and they were so helpful and welcoming. There's many teachers there to help you. The older year groups are absolutely brilliant. You know, my sixth form team that me and Katie work with, they're absolutely amazing. They'll be taking you on your tours today. And, you know, feel free to ask them questions. All the year 7 students, when they came in this year, they were there. They were throwing around loads of questions at our team and they were able to answer any of them. So yeah, truly amazing here. We now have a short film that will give you a feel of what life is like here at Sackville that was fortunately filmed pre-lockdown. So enjoy.
I feel immensely privileged to be head teacher of Sackville School, not least because its positive and caring culture is second to none.
The scariest thing about setting on this Sackville is meeting new people. I have come to realise that you are in a safe environment.
If I just put my hand up, the teachers would come straight over and help me and make sure I definitely knew how to do it, not just tell me the answers.
The best thing I've probably done at Sackville so far is make it in the football team. To be in the school football team is a great honour.
One of the best support systems we have and that we found has been very, very effective is our buddy system.
They help you go to your form, they're there to take you to your classes. My favourite subject's probably drama. I just get to be free and sort of like explore with what I can do.
My favourite subject will probably be history because I like learning about people from the past and how they impact our lives today.
The best thing that I've done is probably when we went up to the London Aquatic Centre to swim in the National Schools Gala and we came 6th in the country.
As I've gone through the years, I've developed skills and abilities that have shaped me to become who I am today, and I'm really grateful for that.
I'm hopefully going to study medicine next year. I've been part of a Bright Med scheme which I got onto through Sackville.
You don't have to be scared, everyone's been in the situation you're in, but you can do it in the end.
It's all about everybody feeling valued. At Sackville, it is absolutely true that together we achieve.